So today's video is going to focus on this controller. This would be the WICO command control controller, third-party controller for the Atari 5200. Now, the thing about the Atari 5200 is way back in the early days of YouTube, when you would search Atari 5200, the only thing that came up was the angry video game nerds basically bashing and shitting all over the Atari 5200, which was very funny. And being an avid, I've had my 5200. It was the first system I've ever had. I'm a little older, and so I've had it for a long time. And I always was confused at the, none of the gamers, the vintage retro gamers out there had any real love for the 5200 up until recent years. Now recently, guys like John Hancock, great channel by the way, Gamester81, another guy with a great channel, they tried to make an amends to the angry video game nerds, and the consensus of the 5200 being terrible. And they all talk about the controller being poor, and that's the Achilles heel of the system. However, I've noticed in all the video game, in all those pro gamer channels or whatever, they never mention this third-party controller. And this is seriously, in my opinion, the controller to have to make the 5200 a glorious console. Shout outs to also the Joy of Sticks, Stickhead. I kind of was inspired by, he was talking about, he's an Atari ST guy, and he was talking about his favorite ST controller. And so this is sort of like a similar video, only for the 5200. Now, we all know the classic Achilles heel controller, right? And we all know the problem, but we're all well versed on the problems of this controller, which makes the system basically unplayable. This is probably my last working controller. Just wanted to mention that you can go to 4J's, at least I think you still can. You probably can't see that, but 4J's Video Games in California used to repair these. So this was my last repaired controller, and I use it sometimes with the third-party controller of choice of John Hancock, which is this one here, which I've had since the 80s. I got this back probably like 89, 90, well after the system was out of use, but I was, getting nostalgic way back then. And this was my only option for years. And I kept hearing rumors, the myth, and the legend of this controller here, but all I would ever see on eBay was this part. And it would also not have, it has an Atari end, as you can see here. You see it has the 2600 connector. So I was always confused, how the hell does this work with the 5200? And I never actually saw it with the command port, you see. Now the reason why you probably don't see a lot of people talking about this controller is that it's ridiculously expensive and ridiculously rare. However, last year I noticed that somebody bought a huge lot of brand new controllers that came with this part, which was the key. I don't even want to say how much they were, but they were way above most normal people's price range. I happened to be working at a decent paying job at that time, and I splurged, okay, because I've been fucking dreaming about this thing forever. Now, I want to say it actually does live up to everything I had hoped for. First of all, having a whole, you don't have to connect a faulty controller to control your game is amazing. You got your start button, you got your pause button, you got your reset, and you got your keypad. And you can even put your game overlays in here. Alright, now I'm going to show you a little demonstration of this. Yeah, so I'll show you a demonstration in a second. But now I want to show you what's also cool about this controller. First of all, you have to get over the fact that it looks like a dildo or a butt plug. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but that's just how they designed things in the 80s. You got your two fire buttons okay? And it's self-centering, right? But if you don't want it to be self-centering, you got these little knobs here. I don't want to actually do it. And you have these, you basically could set up your controller with these little switches here and these switches on the side. This is your XY, okay? And it makes it like the original non-self-centering controller if you want it that way for games like Centipede or something like that. Okay? So, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best controller to purchase if you could still find one. There's probably people who resold them after that big lot, or that guy probably still has them up on eBay. But yeah, this makes, if you're a 5200 head like I am, this makes the system like impeccable. The other thing is, I guess, you know, if you have one of these and you have the trackball controller, then forget about it. Then you might as well just sell your PS4. Anyway, we're going to switch to a little gameplay so I could show you.
Just one hand.
There we go. And
Not gonna be possible.
as you can see, this is me playing pole position with one hand because I had to hold the camera. But as you can see, it's pretty. Now I'm only using one hand with this, so you know. But as you can see, it's pretty flawless. You know, it's a great controller. You know, it does the job. I would have played more games, but you know, I'm still getting used to this whole like live streaming thing and XSplit. You know, this what I did here is advanced to begin with. But anyway, yeah, this controller is the way to go, in my opinion, for 5200 aficionados. I haven't had any problem with it yet. Out of the box, working beautifully. I haven't tried it on every single game, but as you can see on games like Pole Position, it works just fine. You know, obviously it works better than the standard controller. I don't know what it would be like to play a game like Robotron or whatever that game was where you need the dual controller thing. You probably couldn't do that with this. So yeah, that's about it for this controller. As you can see, my pole position game is pretty bad. Does anybody know, if anybody's watching this, comment, how the hell do you actually win pole position? When I get to the end of the race, it's always game over. I don't know if that means I just suck. Anyway, let's switch back here. Yeah, so that's all I could say about this controller. It's really top notch. If you have any questions about it, you know, feel free to ask. You know, you could follow me on Twitter. On Twitter, my handle's a little different. It's Clean and Humble. That showcases my recording studio. And of course, please like and subscribe, you know, to this channel, the Yo Look What I Found channel. And if you're interested in musical stuff that I do, please go and subscribe to my other channel, which is the PSQWall channel here on YouTube. If you type PSQWALL into the search, my channel will come up. It's in the description as well. I'm going to be uploading a new video to that channel today as well. I'm trying out this like more consistency thing here on YouTube by trying to do more daily videos by using live streaming and then editing, you know. And I'm probably going to do the other channel's video with my phone and see how that goes. Yeah, and if you want to continue to support, if you really like what I'm doing, you know, you can always go to this link down here and buy my latest record. As you know, I make music, or you may not know, and my other channel, the PSQWall channel, focuses on the Flex Unger project, DJ name, whatever you call it, that I make music under. And I released an album in December, and it's available on Bandcamp. So if you want to support, you know, that really helps me out. $5 for the new record. It's called Porter Beat Service Volume 1. And I did a video, my last video on this channel, described all about that. Probably have to redo that one because it was very wonky, that video. But as you can see, it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. Just go to flexunger.bandcamp.com and you could stream it for free, or if you feel like purchasing it, it's 24 or 25 instrumental tracks, all made on the IMPC app. The whole Porta Beat thing, you heard about it in the last video. So I really, really appreciate your support, and stay tuned for more videos. And, shout outs to John Hancock and Gamester81 and The Joy of Sticks. If you don't know those channels, you should really check out those guys if you're an Atari guy, like I am. Anything else I was going to say? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I believe that's it. Check out the channels. Atari. I don't understand the old live streaming thing. So like, if people are actually like in the chat or whatever, I can't see it because I still haven't figured out how to get the chat into XSplit and all that stuff. But bear with me, little by little. I'll learn these programs, and the channel will come together a little bit better. So yeah, that's it. Atari 5200. Boom. The Command Control by WICO. Doesn't get any better than this for the Atari 5200. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Thank you.